welcome to the show. We at Trucking Life welcome you all. Now, pull that rig over, hit the head, grab a drink and snack, settle in, and let's get this show on the road. And now, your host.
Hello, everybody. Take two, okay? Apologies for the technical difficulties. We don't know what happened. It was working, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. So, good morning. Welcome to Sunday Brunch. I am Angela, also known as Miami Pink Panther. And this is my co-host, Ed. Good morning, Ed. How are you?
Good morning, Angela, and I am doing fine. And I would also like to introduce my co-host. This is my little truck pup. His name is Trip.
Hello, Trip. He's cute.
Hi. Say hello to everybody.
He is darling.
My little
Hi,
buddy.
Trip. Well, it is Super Bowl Sunday, so the Bengals and the Rams are going to go at it. We're not in it. The Bengals and the Rams are going to go at it today, and I have $1 riding on the Bengals. So go on, boys, get my money.
Yep, and because I'm a big LSU fan, I'm supporting the Bengals. Just one cat trying to support another, I suppose.
That's great. That's great. So where are you this morning, Ed?
I am in Prescott, Arkansas, at the TA there, on my way to Dallas.
How's the weather?
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Let me see if I can get this. Not a cloud in the sky.
Gorgeous day.
Yeah.
Well, I am in Wichita, Kansas, where it is 34 degrees this morning. And the wind is blowing like crazy. So it's cold out there.
Yeah, it's 51 according to my truck's thermometer.
Yeah, very nice.
So not too bad.
We have a little bit of news here at Trucking Life. We want to welcome our newest board member, Jen Meyer. She was voted into the board yesterday. And welcome, Jen.
Welcome.
She is our IT and media website executive. That's her technical title, but we just call her our geek. So she is loved already by all of us, and we cannot wait to see where she helps us go in the future. So welcome aboard, Jen.
Yeah, she wasn't on the job this morning, I take it.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
she
yet.
Wasn't on the job. This is not her fault this morning, okay? So we have some interesting topics this morning. Stereotypes. We all have them, truckers have a lot of them. So we're going to jump right in. And Ed, what do you think? What do you think are some of the worst stereotypes that truckers have?
I have a list. Can I just hop right on in there?
Go for it.
All right. So I've been doing research all morning, and it seems as if there's 5 main ones that are very popular. So the first one is dirty and stinky.
Yep.
That we're always on the road and we're never home, and so therefore there's no bathroom facilities in our trucks, and so therefore we have to smell terrible, right?
Well, of course we do. Course we never shower,
right? And of course we all know that the truth is that even small mom and pop truck stops have at least one shower.
That's
it. So every major truck stop has showers. The major big box brand truck stops have free showers if you have credits available. So if you ever meet a dirty, stinky truck driver, chances are he's dirty and stinky by choice. It's not an industry-wide thing. I know plenty of drivers that they cannot survive if they can't get a shower every day. So
that's it too.
It is
with
how
this
they operate.
hair. I can't go more than a couple days, okay? Because this hair gets yucky.
But see, mine's falling out. So pretty soon I'm going to start saving a lot of money.
There you go. There you go. All right. So one of my stereotypes is that all truck drivers pee in a bottle and throw it on the side of the road. That is not.
We call that a trucker bomb.
That's it. That's a trucker bomb. Yep. And that's not deserved. I know that it does happen because we all see it, you know, but most people that I know and have met, I mean, they know where the bathroom is. Come on.
Right.
You know, they don't want to get out of their truck and smell it. So they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it does happen. Like I said, we see it. You pull into any truck stop, usually there's a couple on the ground. People who are too lazy to walk another 5 feet to the garbage can, you
Right.
know, but, you know, and then the women, you know, I mean, first of all, we can't pee in a bottle. That's kind of impossible. Number two, you know, we're not going to do that anyway. You know, that's just disgusting. And honestly, if somebody's doing that, it's because that's the kind of person they are.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see. My turn?
Yep, your turn.
Next one I have is we're all obese and overweight. Now it's a stereotype, but at the same time, there's a bit of truth to it, right? I am not a small person, and and so the statistic that I found is roughly 38% of all drivers are overweight. However, I've met and trained plenty of health nuts. I've as a CDL instructor, I've trained former professional collegiate athletes, fitness trainers, people that are, you know, extremely strong, extremely fit, and they know all the tricks of the trade to stay strong and stay fit no matter where they are, no matter what they're doing. But the reality is that it is a very sedentary job. I am sitting in this seat that I am currently in more often than I am not.
Yep.
And I don't eat the best. My wife will tell you that. And so you know, I am of course overweight, and you know, I could do better. But I'm a happy big guy. I love food. I eat food, and I enjoy it, and it is what it is. And you know, it's my lifestyle choice, and but it doesn't have to be everybody's. There are becoming in truck stops healthier options. I'm seeing a lot more fruits, fresh fruits, salads, low carb, low calorie items available at truck stops. They are a little more expensive than your average cheeseburger, but it is what it is. And also at larger truck stops, I'm seeing workout rooms and gyms are starting to become more popular again as well.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. It's, you know, a lot of that goes into that our options are so limited. You know, fast food is where it's at. Sometimes we don't have time to sit down at a restaurant. And then again, you got to think about some of the restaurant options that we have. Those are not the healthiest either. So I do cook in my truck a lot, but you know, even that gets old, and I'm not afraid to admit I had McDonald's for breakfast this morning. So, you know,
I had Cinnabon.
There you go. So I drive, I do flatbed. So I'm out chaining and tarping and loading and strapping, and it's a lot of exercise. I'm also not a size 2 either. So we are not all obese and disgusting. And I don't think that that's a fair stereotype. You know, I have met some unhealthy, obese people in other jobs. You know, why don't they have that stereotype?
Yeah, it's definitely not something that's unique to trucking. It's Americans in general. We are
correct.
Just as a people, we eat a lot, and it is what it is.
Yeah, correct. So another stereotype is that truck drivers have a girlfriend in every truck stop and they cheat on their wives constantly.
Man, I wish.
See, this guy here, he's talking in secret. He's hush hush talking to his girlfriend, you know. I was married for 24 years, and we were not together all the time, but that wasn't our problem. He didn't, you know, cheat on me because he was out on the road. You know, I'm in a committed relationship, that's just not something that I would do. And I fully believe that that is person to person, and that is no matter where you live, how much you make, or what job you have.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. In my experience, truckers are not exactly the most. What am I trying to say? We're not exactly the option A when it comes to dating, because we're never home, we're never around. I'm sorry, my puppy wants to play all of a sudden.
That's
And
okay.
but we're never home, we're never around. I've heard plenty of stories where truckers will find someone that lives in their hometown, and they fall in love. They really want to get married and start a family and so on and so forth. But the other person will end it once they realize that the trucker's not he doesn't want to give up his career,
Yeah.
and but yeah, no, it's definitely not true. Do I know guys that seem like they do have girlfriends in every town and so on and so forth? Yes, I do. But it's basically a full-time job. Basically, one, maintaining those relationships, and then also making sure they never meet.
That's right.
No,
That's the secret.
It's rough. Huh? It's rough, huh? Yeah, come
He
here.
wants to
Bite in my hand.
play. Come
Rough.
say hi to everybody.
Hey, hi! Look, you're
Hey.
on the internet.
Yes,
Put
you
your ear in
are.
my
You
mouth.
are on Trucking Life. All right. And another stereotype is that we're all drug smugglers. We do have people who use the trucking industry for that. That's not truckers. That's smugglers who are using trucks, and there's a difference.
Yeah, no, but in my experience, I mean, if I have ever smuggled drugs, it was without my knowledge.
Yeah.
Have I picked up trailers that were pre-sealed at some seedy organization that I was not allowed inside their warehouse, and I picked up and delivered that trailer and never once looked inside of it? Yeah, there could have been anything in there, but I've never, no, never.
Yeah,
Never.
exactly.
I'd be making a lot more money than I am now, that's for sure.
And that's it too.
Right.
We wouldn't be sitting in Prescott, Arkansas and Wichita, Kansas if we made that kind of money, right?
Damn straight.
Yeah.
All right. So
I've definitely picked up trailers that were pre-sealed in a drop yard, just there. Go pick up this trailer number. I did that many times. You took the paperwork that was in the box and you accepted that it was really loaded with what was on that paper. So if I ever did it, it was without my knowledge. That's for sure.
Right. But I tell you what, though, I have traveled from one side of the country to the next and have never been pulled into a weigh station. No cop ever looked at me, and so on and so forth. And I'm like, man, if I were an immoral person, I could make a lot of money.
That's right. Exactly.
The next one that I have, I think Angela's going to really like this one. That truck drivers are sexist. That we believe that women don't have a place in trucking. And I have met a few. I know a couple of drivers that are like that. But let me lay some knowledge on our trucking life, people, particularly considering that trucking life is fully owned and operated by some of the most badass women that I have ever met. So there are somewhere between, I can't get a concrete number on this, but there's somewhere between 200 and 300,000 female drivers right now on the road. Now that is opposed to the rest of which are about 3 million male truck drivers. But there's been research that's shown that females pay more attention to detail, which in trucking is a very important thing. Women are 4 times more likely to pass their CDL exam on the first try, which I can attest to. They usually did. They make fewer risky maneuvers. are 3 times less likely to be in a major accident and 5 times less likely to violate safety regulations.
Yep.
So if you are a fledgling carrier that is looking to hire drivers, I recommend hire women.
Hire women. Yep. I have met some of the most badass women in just the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
The section of the industry that I'm in, which is aircraft, most of it is husband and wife teams. Honestly, we have a few solo drivers, and I am one of 2 solo women.
Yep.
And so it's, the last 20 years or so, I have really seen it grow. When I started working in the aircraft side of it, it was husband and wife teams, and I thought it was great. I'm like, I'm so glad to see women out here. And now, as we've come along from 2001, it's just, there's more and more solo women. So we have a couple of solo women on Trucking Life. So, it is definitely not, in my opinion, that all truck drivers are sexist. Okay. Of course I met people like that, but some of them aren't truck drivers. They're just sexists, but most people that I meet are, very kind and, great to see you guys out here. Great to see you driving a pink truck. Oh, I love your truck. Those are the most compliments that I get.
Yeah. Now, I've trained my fair share of women, and they were always an absolute pleasure. The one that I think was probably the most fun was this. She must have been about 5'2". This Hmong Chinese woman from Minnesota, and every stereotype that you've ever heard about Asian female drivers, she knew every single joke in the book. Every time that she would scratch a gear while we're driving around town, she'd start cursing herself out in Chinese, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, that's the Asian side of me. It came out. She was a lot of fun, but no, out of a truck full of guys, she was the one woman, and she was the best one out of all of them.
Wow, then that is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back to continue this topic.
Listen up, Mother Truckers. Missy Rickman's debut novel, Mother Trucker Because It's Never Too Late, is now available in hardback, paperback, and ebook format. Sandy, the main character, is in the middle of a midlife crisis. It leads her to become a truck driver, and this new venture brings not only passion and adventure back to her life, but also 4 new best friends. Sweet and sassy, Mother Trucker is Smokey and the Bandit meets Bridesmaids. Filled with comedy, emotion, and some embarrassing adventures across America, Missy draws from her own life experiences in this hilarious, heartfelt book about rediscovering yourself. Order today at www.mothertruckerthebook.com or go on Amazon or Barnes & Noble and order your copy today. All ratings and reviews are welcome on Amazon or Goodreads.com. Happy reading, Mother Truckers.
And we're back.
She just loves saying that, doesn't she?
I was amused when I found out that her email address is because Mother Trucker.
That's right. I know. I love it. And Missy is a solo woman driver, so I'm very proud of her too.
Yes, she is.
So that she actually brings me into our next stereotype, which is that we're all uneducated and we're driving truck because we have to. So that is not true. I have met some very educated people who chose to drive truck.
Yeah, I have met PhDs. I've met lawyers. I've met high-end, like higher up military individuals. I actually have a statistic here. Let me change pages. So. Of all truck drivers, so this is something a little interesting. Not a lot of people think about. You have to be 21 to get your CDL. So that means that in between the ages of 18 and 21, everyone has to do something else, right? And a lot of people go to college, and a lot of people, they get some other career. trucking is not the first option for a lot of people. It's a second career. So the thing is that you need a minimum of a high school diploma to be a truck driver. The number is 48%. 48% of all truck drivers have a high school diploma. That means that 52%, so it's more. The majority of truck drivers have something higher than a high school diploma. They've got an associate's degree, bachelor's degree, what have you. This is actually a really fun fact, though, that I thought was really interesting. On average, the people that have a high school diploma make more money in the trucking industry. Something about the bachelor's and the doctorates and all that, it doesn't really help you, but you still got it.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Well, I know a published author. I know
too.
There you go. I know people who have bachelor's degrees, associate's degrees. I have a background in nursing. So, I had a life before this. And, we're not all a bunch of dummies and doing this because that's what we have to do. Most of us chose this.
Yep. I have a background in telecommunications, and I think the smartest guy that I've ever met that was a truck driver, he was just a nerd. He was a linguist of a nerd. He knew 7 languages. His idea of a fun Saturday afternoon was watching anime in its original Japanese and then doing the subtitles from Japanese to French.
Wow. Okay. That's amazing.
Right. He's a truck driver.
That's amazing.
Yep.
So I think that anybody who can speak another language besides English is amazing. I speak Spanish, and I think that, anybody, if you can speak a second language, you already have 10 feet in the door, right. Because that you can get yourself out of bad situations. You can get yourself, into good situations. And I just think that it's amazing.
Yep, it definitely is. No, I've met a lot of foreign drivers, highly educated foreign drivers, where English wasn't even their second language. English was like their third or their fourth or their fifth language. And it's I'll say this, this might sound slightly unpatriotic of me to say out loud, but English is a hard and stupid language. It is. It's very difficult to learn if you haven't been growing up speaking it. So anyone that chooses to learn English is a rock star in my book. And even if it's kind of bad, broken, heavily accented, whatever, if you're trying, you're a winner in my book. At least you're doing that, because English is not easy to learn.
Yeah, no, it's not. I learned to speak Spanish when I was early teens, and then turn it around and try to teach somebody a little bit of English, and I can't explain. Why does, why is the H silent here but not here? Why is I before E except, come on.
Why is knife spelled with a K?
There you go.
Doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. All right. So another stereotype is that we are involved in human trafficking. We've all seen the reports when a truck gets busted, bringing people into the country. That's not the only form of human trafficking. And I don't think that that's a fair stereotype. Again, that's very similar to the drug smuggling to me. That is a human trafficker using trucking to get through.
Doctors can't operate a toaster. That's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. I just started to be able to see comments. So we'll come back to some of those too.
Okay.
Yeah. But, what do you think about the human smuggler stereotype?
In my experience, I'm seeing a lot less of it. So like a form of human trafficking would be prostitution. And I believe that that's another topic you want to dig into a little bit later on. But there has been that organization, Truck Against Trafficking. Mm-hmm. And I believe that they found a lot of support amongst drivers, because we've all got families at home. Nobody ever wants to get that phone call. that we can't find, whatever member of your family, and, they've been sold off into, whatever terrible situation. Like that's a nightmare just to think about. No driver that I know would ever accept a load of humans, or would haul them anywhere. And then a lot of, depending on where you are in the country, there's a lot of weigh stations that have like these cool little x-ray machines. They x-ray and thermal image your truck as you're driving through. So if you've got people in that trailer, they're going to find you, they're going to stop you.
Oh, definitely. And then that brings me to the next one, which is prostitution. We've all seen the lot lizards. We've all heard about them. We hear it on the CB, whether it's them looking for work or a driver looking for company, we've heard it, and I think that goes back to the cheaters. I think that's a human trait. I don't think that's solely on truck drivers. The world of prostitution does not solely revolve around a truck stop.
Right. And something that I will challenge every one of our viewers on is to try and delete the term lot lizard from your vernacular. I know you've used it. I've used it in the past. The reason is that most of these women, nobody prostitutes themselves in a truck stop unless they've got some really major problems going on in their life. They're either being trafficked, or they're extremely addicted to substances, or in a very bad part of bad part of their life, and they need help. Usually they need help more than anything else. So I find the term lot lizard to dehumanize them a bit. Yep. And that's not what they need. They need to be humanized, and they need help. Again, Truckers Against Trafficking is a very good organization for that.
Yes, they are.
If anyone ever comes and knocks on your door in the middle of the night, first don't say yes, and then and then also ask them if they need help. If you can make a phone call for them, can someone come and get them and pick them up and get them out of whatever situation that they're in.
Exactly.
And in my experience, my first year in the industry, way back in 2013. I was propositioned 3 times. Of course, I was a much younger man back then. I didn't have these thoughts. I didn't say, let me not misconstrue that. I didn't say yes to them, but I didn't, I was like, oh, damn lot lizard, get the hell off my truck, that whole thing.
Exactly.
So in 1 year I was propositioned 3 times. And then, I became a local driver for a while, and I became a CDL CDL instructor for a while. And, but since I've been back out on the road, no one has ever knocked on my door. So, the only thing I can say is that I hope that, these organizations against trafficking are working.
I hope so. I really do. Truckers have a bird's eye view of that. And that's, again, Truckers Against Trafficking is a great organization, and I encourage everybody to visit their website, because you can help somebody. If you see something, say something. Ask them if you can make a phone call for them. Ask them if they need help to get out of it. Okay? We have our eyes in the right places. So I cannot emphasize that enough.
All right. The next one I have on my list here, it says that we are reckless menaces of the road. The author of the piece that I got this from made a lot of allusions to Smokey and the Bandit. That we have no regard for the law, for law enforcement officers, that we're a bunch of outlaws. You need to calm down, okay? Right back to chewing on my hand.
Yeah.
But no, and the reality is that most drivers, we drive over 100,000 miles a year, largely free of accidents, largely free of citations. We get hit with extremely heavy fines in the event that any law enforcement officer catches us doing unsafe acts or behaviors. And so that has a very, high deterring effect on us from speeding, weaving in and out of traffic, things of that nature. But the other thing too is that a lot of people's perception is their reality. When they come up to major accidents that have, snarled up traffic and closed down roads and stuff, typically it's because a truck driver did something really, let's say he did something really stupid. He flipped his truck over. He was driving too fast. He lost control. He did something. And so, that's how the motoring public and the public in general just comes away with that perception that we're unsafe and, that we're doing stupid things out on the road. It is what it is.
Yeah. And the giant billboards across the country that say, were you in an accident with a truck? Call me. I'll get you millions. Yep. That's not helpful.
No. Yeah. And the thing that kind of bothers me is there's for every one billboard that says, are you a truck driver that was involved in a serious accident? There's 10 of them that are going in the other direction. So there's not a whole lot of lawyers out there that are willing to understand that just because a truck was involved in an accident, it wasn't necessarily his fault.
Correct. Exactly. So I am unable to read some of the comments. Now I can. So Jen, our brand new board of director member, she has a master's degree in IT. So she is highly educated. She does not fit that stereotype of dummy.
Nope. Not at all.
Yep. And our own Pat, he says he's a menace to society. So I mean, there's one bad apple everywhere.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing about stereotypes. For every time you get a stereotype going, it's got some modicum of truth to it. For everything that we've sat here and talked about, we've met dangerous truck drivers. We've met dirty, stinky, overweight truck drivers, so on and so forth. It's just that you tend to remember the negative. You don't tend to remember the positive, the people that were kind and courteous to you out on the road. Because we don't stand out, and so you start to associate these negative feelings with certain people, and that's how stereotypes get started. And it's
exactly. All right, well, let's take another break and we will come back and we are gonna hit another topic.
Bye.
Are you tired of overpaying the IRS year after year? Let me find you every possible legal deduction to reduce your tax liability. Specializing in over-the-road drivers, owner-operators, and their families, I can help you. We have a free mobile app and same-day cash advances available. Contact me, Sarah Darling, at 903-932-8249 or email sarah.darling@lgmfinancialconsulting.com. We are an authorized IRS e-file.
That's right. Everybody get a hold of Sarah. And we're back. All right. So I wanted to talk about this snowstorm that happened in Virginia, about 2 weeks ago? Caused a lot of problems. And now there is a law going through Virginia that wants to force truckers into the right lane only during inclement weather.
Yeah, so this is, to kind of remind people about that accident. It was very severe. It had people trapped out on the highway for about 24 hours, if I remember correctly. If it weren't for drivers, it's very possible a lot of people would have died. Because drivers, we've always got food, water, and medical supplies and all sorts of stuff in our truck, things that people don't normally travel with. And from the news reports that I heard, drivers were more than willing to share their supplies. I've been in that situation before where I've been shut down on a highway, and the guy next to me has been sitting there stuck as long as I have, and I'm like, hey man, you want something to drink? You want something to eat? We're not going anywhere. I got food. So So it was a really unfortunate situation. Did you want to go ahead and launch into our thoughts about it?
Yeah, go ahead. You start.
Okay. All right. So if you read the actual law, it does ban. The idea is that it's going to ban trucks from any lane other than the rightmost travel lane during a snowstorm. It would also ban the use of cruise control and compression brakes. So Jake brakes, engine brakes, whatever you want to call them. It will ban all of that during an active snowstorm. It's the thing is that a lot of politicians, they like to get caught trying, right? They've been elected to office, and they feel that it's their job to make the world a better place, to keep their constituents safe and happy, and so on and so forth. So whenever something really bad happens like this, it's usually politicians taking it upon themselves to think of, all right, so what can we do different? The state of Pennsylvania has a similar law already on the books. Virginia and Pennsylvania have very similar terrains, so it kind of tracks that Virginia would try. The reason why I'm opposed to it is that I'm not overly opposed to the cruise control and the compression brake pieces of it, because that's just general advice that you're going to get from. I used to be a CDL instructor, so I would tell my students the same exact thing. So there being a law about it doesn't really bother me. My issue is that the right lane isn't always the safest lane to be in particular. Correct. If a snowplow, hi, I'm plow. Particularly if the snowplow has only plowed like maybe the middle lane or the left lane, then the right lane, the right lane doesn't make sense to be in the right lane is what I'm trying to say.
Correct.
What about you? Correct. What do you think?
And we just saw, here in the last 10 days, I think it was, that snowplow that caused a 50-car pileup because he was speeding while he was plowing the snow, and everything that he threw from the westbound lane to the eastbound lane, and it caused a huge mess up, I mean, and he was plowing the center. He was plowing the left lane.
Yeah.
So, that's another problem. But, the only time I've ever sat on a highway during a snowstorm was in Wyoming. And Wyoming just shuts it down. They close the gates, do not pass, And if you look at the state of Wyoming's website, the only reason that they'll close the road is for two things: visibility and crashes. That's it. Okay. Obviously, both of those are very good reasons. Otherwise, they're keeping the roads plowed. I've seen their snow plow drivers out there in the middle of a snowstorm plowing because they're trying to keep the road open. So my question is this too little too late for Virginia? They weren't able to keep the road open. They weren't able to keep it cleaned. So now they're blaming drivers? I don't think that that's fair.
Yeah. Well, and I would argue that I've seen enough pileups caused by truck drivers, driving too fast for conditions, trying to, you get that, let's say it's starting to snow and things are starting to get a little slick. And so you get that one driver, let's say it's 70-mile-an-hour road, and you get that one driver, usually me, because I'm from Louisiana, snow freaks me out. That, is wanting to start to slow down to 55 or 60 or what have you, or slower. Depending on how bad it is. But then you've always got that super trucker, or, that one guy, I'm from Wisconsin, it's not that bad, and he never slowed down from going 75, right?
Exactly.
And he's tailgating, falling too close, and so on and so forth. And the roads suck. They really do. Yeah. It's not that I don't think that truck drivers are blameless, because I've just seen enough drivers do unsafe things in inclement weather. But I think it's definitely, something to think about as far as education goes for entry-level driver training, with that whole thing that's starting up about, making sure that there's uniform standards across all training programs for what to do in the event of inclement weather. And then there's also got to be an accountability standpoint of that as well, with police officers enforcing traffic laws and also just enforcing reckless driving laws.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we've all seen the super trucker go flying past us. We've seen the videos over the, years of the pileups because people weren't paying attention. And I'll be honest with you, some of those videos have brought a tear to me because the sound, it's complete silence until you hear screeching tires and metal hitting metal. And I just don't.
All the crunching, knowing that there's people inside of those little cans that are getting crunched.
Yep. Yeah, those videos are horrible.
And the one from Dallas is the one that bothers me, that ice storm that they had a couple of years ago, I think it was.
Yep. Yeah. So it's, I'm like you, I don't like the snow. So I'm lucky enough to just be able to say, I'm done. I'm not driving in this. I'm an owner operator, and not everybody has that option until it becomes a lot worse. But I have anxiety with snow and ice anyway. So I tried to stay out of it.
Yeah. No, that's why I really like driving for the company that I do. I've been shut down for days for a blizzard, and they never pressured me to get back to work. I've actually, it's kind of hard to explain, but there was a time where I was stuck at a truck stop in a blizzard, and I just got to work. Like, I figured I'd start to drive at some point during the day, so I dug my truck out of the snow. And once I dug myself out, I'm like, well, let me see if I can at least get out of my parking spot. And I got out of my parking spot, but then I couldn't get back into it. So at that point, I just started driving. And my boss is calling me. He's like, dude, are you sure? You sure you want to go drive? And I'm like, it's kind of a long story.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I was on a load probably 3 or 4 years ago, and actually had the company call me and tell me the customer was requesting that I stop. Yeah. Don't come into Dallas. It is snowing and icing. Do not stop wherever you're at and wait. And I mean, that was surprising to get that call, Yeah. I wouldn't have gone much further because it did get pretty bad. But I sat there for 2 days waiting for everything to get cleared up and be able to get into Dallas. So it's, we're already, restricted to the right lane in some places. So I don't think that this actually having it on the books is going to mean, a whole lot of change. But drivers need to be very aware that laws are changing and laws are being implemented. And this is one of them. So, if this passes through Virginia, this will become law.
Yeah. It'll just be yet another restriction. I think I saw that the fine was $200 for a violation. Yeah, look, you fell down. You're being stupid. Anyway, he's been chewing on me. I don't know if this will show up. He's been chewing on me. He's normally like very calm. He's been sleeping all morning. Then I get on the stream and he wants to act like a fool.
He wants attention.
Yeah, he does. He's a ham. But yeah, no, it's unfortunate, but at the same time, like I said in our little chat room there, the more times that this stuff happens, that drivers, make the mistakes that they make and cause pileups and cause damage and cause death and so on and so forth. It's you're going to get these reactionary politicians that think that something has to be done, and an argument could be made that things should be done. It's just a matter of, are they going to be educated enough to choose the right things to change? And that's the question.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, we're just going to wind up with more and more restrictions. And I mean, honestly, that's the way things have been since deregulation, since the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration became a thing. Since I was regulated that I had to have a proper amount of bedding on my bed. There's a regulation for that in the Green Book.
I know. Maybe that's another show, is to go through some of the dumber regulations.
Yep. I need to get a copy of the Green Book.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're gonna now I don't have any.
We're gonna take another break, and we will be right back.
back.
We're back. All right. I wanted to take a few moments just to acknowledge some of the comments. And Jed, I cannot see all of them, so I'm just going to go on what I've got until you can put some up there for me. Okay, so Melissa Reichman said whoever threw that trucker bomb out in that picture needs to see a urologist.
So urine will turn a very dark and nasty looking color when it's exposed to a lot of heat and sunlight. But yeah, no, it is very gross.
Yes.
The bacteria in urine will grow in those conditions. That's why it's called a trucker bomb. That's why you never want to pick them up off side of the road, because all that bacteria in there has been growing. Yeah, it's going to explode, and yeah, bad.
Exactly. You need a grabber.
Yeah.
Grab it from 5 feet away, put it in the garbage can. Oh my gosh. Dawn says, good morning, Angela and Ed. Good morning, Dawn.
Hi, Dawn.
That's all I can see, Jed, unless you have something other. I saw Pat's and we commented on those already, but that's all I can see. So are you on a 34, Ed?
I am on a 34. I deliver, I'm going to this really, really, really terrible, what am I trying to say? It's a grocery store distribution chain in Texas that I am not excited whatsoever to go to, because the last time I went to this particular place, it was a nightmare. And yet here I am going back. Took 6 hours just to get it loaded.
Oh my gosh.
So gotta love these brokers. I will take a moment to plug me and Melissa's blog,
Yes.
Debate Life. Now that the website is up and running, we should have our very first blog published here momentarily, hopefully. It regards our thoughts and opinions on the Safe Driver Apprenticeship Pilot Program, or SDAP, as I've been calling it in my head. This would allow 18 to 20-year-old drivers to be able to operate their commercial motor vehicles in interstate commerce. Currently, they can only operate in intrastate commerce. So you'll get to not only see me and Melissa's thoughts on it, but also I played devil's advocate this week because we were both against it. But there's some compelling arguments for why it should be a thing. So I wrote that piece as well. We've got a list coming up soon where we're going to talk about the most common mistakes that inexperienced drivers and the most common mistakes that experienced drivers make. We're gonna have some polls up. And if you guys don't mind, keep an eye out for that blog. And I don't know if there's going to be a subscribe button for that, but hopefully there is, and subscribe. And we're going to keep these conversations going.
Yep. No, that's great. Everybody, go check out our website, www.truckinglife.live. You'll find all of our streamers, all of the information to join our VIP Lifers Club. You will find Debate Life, which is Ed and Missy. You will find Domestic Life, where we have one sorry cooking video so far. I'm my own worst critic. What can I say? And, and follow, share, like, and subscribe. Follow our streamers. All of our streamers have their own page, so go to their pages and like and follow them, so you will get notified every time that they are live streaming. I am also on a 34. I am waiting to get loaded tomorrow here in Wichita, and just laundry, shopping, football. That's what my day is going to be like.
I've got my ceiling mounted TV folded down, my PlayStation 5 turned on. I'm having a good day.
There you go. All right. Follow the misadventures of Pat and Heather, Miami Pink Panther, Livin' Lovin' Truckin', That Truckin' Chick, Big Rig Ed, and and the Debate Life. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Bye, Trev.
Bye.
Hey, this is Pat.
And this is Heather.
For the misadventures of Pat and Heather, come check us out on our stream. We're unpredictable, unscripted, and un-PC. Oh yeah, that's Tinkerbell too. You might be able to see her too. So come check us out. Only on Trucking Life.